Test, test. Test, test. Test. Can we all hear that? Mick loving it. Who do we have in here? Where's of the Trek Gate Star? Viewer of IRL. Huh. Underworld Naiad. Sticks 14. Sticks Final Fantasy 14? Nerdy Dreams. Mary Todd. This is a name I recognize. Welcome. Caxips 06. I can control it. Final Fantasy 14 Sticks. I wonder if that's related to Sticks Final Fantasy 14. Couldn't be. Elbra tweets. Eats AoE. Like area of effect? Like fireballs? Pew pew. And Abbott Costello. Love it. Is my voice synced up to the microphone? Mostly? Or do I look like... No?
I don't know.
Do I look like I'm synced up?
Hold on.
Uh-oh. Waiting for the studio audience to let me know if I'm synced up or not. Do we look synced up?
Doesn't look like it.
It doesn't.
Oh, Mary says it is.
Oh, okay, good. So today we have all sorts of brand new technology, courtesy of my phone. We got word games. Because I need to dive right into the recipe. You know what? I'm going to take this countdown thing. Boom! Away with you. Slash. Like magic. Okay. Today we are doing a roast beef. Brian! Oh, Brian's here. Nice. Brian, this episode is only half for you. I don't have the count for Awesome and Charlene, but Nouveau has that. Boom. Check out this fine fellow. And in 4 hours, he's going to be going live with some sort of Britpop tonight? So without further ado, I need to dive into the making the Yorkshire puddings. What do you mean maybe? So this meat has been sitting on the counter for a few minutes. If anyone wants to play the home game, and you have these ingredients ready to go, which I'm sure nobody does. Like, share, and subscribe. Down below is where you will find all of the ingredients, all of the recipes, all of the everything. Without further ado, we're just going to dive right into the Yorkshire pudding because, I guess it does go good with Britpop. Depending on whose mom, dad, pop, grandma, grandpa, relative from the old country, from merry old UK land, across the pond, as it were, everyone has their tried and true secret family recipe for making the perfect Yorkshire pudding. With recipes as basic and as functional as 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of eggs, to being super precise and weighing everything to the gram, which for a change I actually did today. I did. And there's a reason for it. So, without getting into the reason, we're going to start off with 200 grams of eggs, which is approximately 7 large eggs. I mean 4 large eggs, 7 ounces. I actually had to scoop out a teaspoon of egg. I just loosely beat it together, just so I could take out a consistent amount. One of the many things for the egg portion of the Yorkshire pudding, you can make it with more yolks. It does make it more creamy. It makes it more rich. You really don't need it. I mean, the stuff's frying in lard. The stuff's frying in animal fat, probably covered in gravy. You don't need it.
Yeah.
You don't need it to be any more rich than it already is. So I think just using your 4 eggs, and these amounts, there's a lot of variety in there. There's a lot of variance that will still work. But today I'm being super precise. And only partly galactic. So we have 150 grams of all-purpose flour. So that's approximately 1 cup plus 2 teaspoons. Again, if you just want to go by rough measurements, 1 cup of egg, 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of milk, and you're good. Today I'm using 175 grams of, we're going to pretend this is whole milk, it's actually cream. It's approximately 3/4 of a cup, and then to this we're going to add 25 grams of water. Now the reason we don't use all milk, we use a little bit of water. If you've seen any of the bread making episodes, when I put a glaze or a wash on my bread or buns, when you put water on bread before you bake it, it gets a little more crispy. It gets a little drier for the crust without changing the color a whole lot. So that's why we can use a bit of water with the whole milk. Alternatively, you can just use skim milk or 1% milk because of the water content makes up for it. The reason I don't recommend it, like you can do that, the reason I wouldn't recommend it is because there's a big difference between skim milk and whole milk. Even though they're roughly the same calories per cup, one is loaded with fat, one is loaded with sugar. And I don't care about the keto or the carb stuff today. What I care about is the fat content. So you will get a slightly richer dough for the Yorkshire pudding if you use whole milk or something leaning towards cream and water than you will if you use like a 2%, 1% or even skim. When in doubt, just use whole milk. And I'm going to throw in 2 grams of salt, approximately half a teaspoon. Salt makes everything better. We are going to turn off the microphone for just a minute while I quickly beat this to a thin batter. I don't think that's going to be obnoxiously loud. Some people swear that the Yorkshire pudding mix, the batter itself, needs to be chilled. It needs to come straight from the fridge. Other people say it absolutely has to be at room temperature. Ah, North of Fox. Oh, go get ready for your exam. Good luck. Let us know how it goes. But thanks for tuning in. I appreciate that. Good luck. Some people cheat and they add a little bit of baking powder to this. You don't need it. But you do want this to be clump free. I also don't want to whip this up because I don't want the eggs to get whipped up. So you can whisk this by hand or you can use your hand mixer on low speed. Now, either way, no matter what, this has to rest. An absolute minimum 30 minutes, preferably 1 to 3 days. If you're going to let this rest for a few days, at least overnight, airtight container into the fridge. And then before you use it, let it warm up to room temperature on the counter. A great time to do that is when you're turning your oven on and letting it preheat. So because I don't have the luxury of time travel, and I didn't decide to make this last night, I'm doing this right away, and it's going to be resting for 2¼ hours, somewhere around 7:30 my time. 2 hours and 25 minutes from now. I want this to be ready to pour and bake because this is going to take is this muffin pan. It's going to take about 20 minutes to cook properly, and then I just want to take a picture with everything plated, and away we go. Okay, this looks nice and smooth. I'm going to scrape down the sides, clang, of the old bowl here. Make sure that there's no clumps of flour. Now the neat thing is, because we have, once these recipes get started, we're gonna have a fair bit of time. So today we have some games. Yeah, games. I'm actually gonna turn the oven on right now and get it ready for the roast. This amount will do 12 regular muffin wells. It will do like an 8-inch cast iron skillet, because you can do your Yorkshire puddings in there, and every combination in between. The cool way to do your Yorkshire puddings is to have the wells in these individual cast iron containers on a rack, but that screams gadgetry to me. Oh, a lot of people also swear that you never, ever, ever, after it's seasoned, you never wash your cast iron Yorkshire pudding tins. If it's seasoned properly, you really don't need to. Like, they should just pop right out, but the extra flavor is supposed to carry on from one batch to the next. Yeah, tradition, I guess. Aluminum's going to be good enough for today. Before I pour the batter into these wells, there's going to be a good heaping teaspoon at least of some sort of animal fat. That's going to be raised to the smoke point. It's going to get preheated at about 450. Yeah, for 10 minutes. So this thing's going to be smoking hot, literally smoking hot. I need to measure exactly how much 1/2 of these wells is, because I have to very quickly scoop that amount into the very hot pan and into the oven. Then we leave the oven closed until we know that they're cooked. Just like all the jokes about soufflés, you absolutely don't want to be screwing around with your oven, opening the door while these things are rising, because if you do, they'll deflate. Once you pop this in the oven, that door stays closed until the all clear happens and you know that they're cooked. So I'm going to just slide this batter over here. I don't think I need this today anymore. Yoink. What do we think? Quarter cup? It's quarter cup, yeah, it's a little too much. So we need a little less than a quarter cup. The batter is going to stick to the inside of this cup, but I don't want this to be full at a quarter. It needs to be a little less, like teaspoon and a half less. Depending on all of the factors, the Yorkshire pudding is going to hopefully quadruple in size. So we're going to get like 1 cup worth of expanded Yorkshire pudding. So what else did we have? Yeah, the longer you let it rest in the fridge, the better. It should be poured into the smoking hot oil from room temperature. Apparently that gives the best results. Apparently. I'm kind of tempted to leave some of this batter in the fridge just so we can compare the difference. What do you guys think? Should I do that? And just do like 1 row of substandard cooler batter? I kind of want to now. Yeah, let's do that. Going to cover this, put it in the fridge, and then we will do just one row of 3 wells, and we'll see the difference. I think it's not going to rise as much. I think that's the only real difference. But the longer you let this rest, the better it tastes. And I really don't care about leaving my food out on the counter for a little bit. I'm not worried about it. If you're pregnant or nursing, expecting whatever, if you have a compromised immune system, don't eat raw eggs. Don't. These are going to be cooked to proper temperature, but I would not leave them out for hours. By them, I mean this batter. Okay, so that's the basic of the Yorkshire pudding. So again, we're just going to let this hang out for a few hours while we make the roast beast. So the basic recipe, some sort of beef roast. This looks like a roast of a beef. 2 to 3 pounds. We're going to be cooking this at 375 for about 20 minutes a pound. Just expect it's going to take an hour. If you're doing 1 pound, it's hard to get the vegetables to cook with it at the same time. So this is 1.2 kilos, so it's like 2.5 pounds. So this should take about 50 minutes. I don't trust my oven. I'm just going to call it an hour. But after 50 minutes, I'm going to start poking at it with the thermometer. And on the blog, I do have a handy-dandy chart. Doesn't look very chart-like, but there is a write-up on the internal temperatures. So if right in the middle is between 125 and 130, it's rare. This is AAA beef. I trust it. I'd have no problem eating this rare. Medium rare, the internal temperature is between 130 and 140. Medium doneness is 145 to 150. Well done is 155 to 165. Either way, when this is done, we're going to remove the meat from the oven. We're going to put some foil over it and let it rest for a good 20 minutes. It's going to give all that juice a chance to make sure that it gets distributed evenly and finish cooking. And that 20 minutes is conveniently, just the amount of with the one minor difference of the little caveat of this is being cooked at 375, but the Yorkshire puddings get cooked at 450, so I'm going to have to start raising the temperature towards the end of the cooking cycle on this. Oh, and speaking of raising the temperature, some people insist on, when they're starting their roasts, starting their oven off at like 500 Fahrenheit, like 475, 500 for a few minutes, just to give this a little bit of a sear on top, to give it a little bit of a crust. I don't know, you do you. I'm not a fan of my oven being at that temperature. If you really like that darker, crispier exterior on your roasts.
Sorry, your mute is not working when you're clearing your throat.
Is my mute?
Last 2 times you did it, I could still hear you clearing your throat.
I'm terribly sorry about the throat clearing and the muting. I know I pushed the button to mute the microphone. That's why I need a good condenser mic. Please don't hate me. Oh, and if you really want, feel free to let your friends know that we're up and live. Yeah, Canadian beef. Let your friends know that we're up and running. Here is all the spam. The Twitch, you obviously, I hope you know about it. There's my blog at the Daily Bear. I have cooking, both regular and keto and non-keto, regular food and keto food. And the Facebook is more of the same. And the Discord is where I do most of my communication. That's where our friends, the viewers, will share their pictures, not just of the food, but we have artwork as well. North of Fox, who's off to write an exam, hopefully ace it, posted some really awesome pictures, and I want to see more. I do painting once a week on Wednesdays. It's mostly therapeutic for me, but some people seem to be interested in the techniques. It's mostly for miniatures. This week I'm going to be tweaking up a larger model, and it'll be good. Oh, vegetarian, nice. I need to check my notes to see if I did hummus and pita on my live tube. I can't remember if I did, because if I didn't, I'm probably going to do another hummus and pita episode on Thursday, which is super easy. It's just another excuse for me to knead up some dough. Making bread in any form is a vital technique. It's a basic core skill that everyone should have. Bread should not be intimidating for anyone. You just take flour and water, maybe a leavening agent. You don't really need it. You beat it up and you add heat. And that's the basics of bread. It's really, really that simple. It's not super precise. And forget about the recipe for the Yorkshire pudding. Like, you can get away with 1 cup of egg, 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of flour. That's all you need. That's DJ Nouveau's family recipe, and I've seen the exact same thing on a few websites as well. So we know it works. Yeah, I hear you. Possibly next week, depending on how busy I am this week, I'm going to make another batch of yogurt to make tzatziki, and I will make my own gyro meat to make my own gyros a week from today. Everything from scratch. I did it last year. It's on the stream. It sounds really impressive. It's very straightforward. The end result is spectacular, and the amount of skill required is minimal, like close to zero. So for the yogurt and the tzatziki, I'll pre-record, like I'll record it as I'm making it, and then I'll just have the clips playing on the stream, so I can just quickly walk through what I did. Yeah, and you can make like vegetarian gyro, not a problem. Or you can like pan fry some tofu. I don't know what you do, or if you do any sort of meat substitutes, like Impossible Burger meat or something. But just the basics of the fresh pita bread with tzatziki and veggies, can't go wrong. Oh, it came out like spackle. You might just need more. Did you boil your chickpeas, and did you have enough oil in the blender when you were blending up the chickpeas with all the other stuff? Okay. So I'm completely spoiled with the olive oil that I use, because it's the vast majority of the time, any oil that's not being used for frying is from back home in Greece, and it's not the commercially available stuff. It's the private reserve, the stuff that's nice and green. PVD, welcome. Yeah, there's a few little things that you can screw up with making hummus. One of the tricks is you can thin it out a little bit with water. It also makes it lighter and fluffier. Yeah, I'm totally spoiled. Okay, so here we have our roast. It's been sitting. I prefer water. I've heard of the ice cubes before. I prefer just using the water. It will interact with the starch in the chickpeas, and it will fluff up a little bit. Cold water though. So this stuff is room temperature. It's been sitting on the counter for about an hour. If your roast isn't wrapped, if there isn't a string holding it together, because this one has a string, every couple of inches from the butcher. If yours isn't, get yourself some, it's usually sometimes brown, but just this cotton twine. And every couple of inches, just tie it together so it holds its shape. The reason why we need to have our roasts wrapped, strung up together, is so that when it's cooking, it keeps this shape and it cooks evenly and it doesn't fall apart on you. When you're cooking lamb, even if it's a leg or something and it looks something like this in the package, when you take it out of the package, it's just going to fall apart because there used to be bone that meat was wrapped around. So without getting too gross, you need to keep that lamb wrapped together. So what I normally do is just wrap it in bacon. Sorry, it's not exactly vegetarian. But you can also use butcher's twine just to hold it together. Yeah, real Farina, this is going to be breakfast for both of us. Yeah. So before I get to playing with this, I'm going to get my veggies ready. Now the vegetables are all super duper optional. Super optional. You don't need any to roast your beef. What you should have for your roast beef is a little bit of a spice rub of just salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Super basic. Super basic. So right here, I'm just going to get this rubbed together, and then I'm going to get the veggies started. 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, screaming neighbors. Running dangerously low on garlic. I was supposed to go to the old Costco today, but my body wasn't cooperating with me. It's probably a little bit too much pepper. Oh darn. No such thing, right, PVD? Just like there's no such thing as too much garlic. After I unwrap and rinse the beef, I'm just going to give it pat it dry with some paper towel. I'm going to give it a good rub with this stuff. Actually, I think it needs a little more salt. Now for the vegetables, I'm going to get my cutting board. Today's veggies, roast beef. You can just put the meat on this rack, cook it, you're done. You can put it on the rack, surrounded by the veggies, cook it, you're done. You can line the roasting pan with your veggies, put the meat on top, cook it, you're done. You can put the veggies down on top of this and then the meat on top, you're done. The reason I'm going to have this rack in place with the veggies on top, I want to preserve all the drippings I can. All of the fat and any of the juice from the veggies and any of the oil that drips down, and the oil is going to be coming from this that I'm just tossing the vegetables in. All that wonderful juice that's going to be at the bottom of the pan is going to get turned into a gravy. So the veggies, kind of optional if you even eat them. I'm going to have most of them, but I just have a bunch of leftover veggies that I'm just going to line this rack with and put the meat on top. Again, the veggies are completely optional. And then for the juice that's left over, I'm going to use a lot of that for brushing the muffin tin. But I will, if I have time, I'll also show you how to make a gravy with it. And the gravy is super easy. I might just explain it while all this is happening. That might be easier. So, I'm going to take my 1 onion, and I'm just going to quarter it. So, I want to get rid of this paper. Just going to give this a quick little trim, both ends. Always using the claw technique, nothing's rolling around on me. If I don't have a firm grip on my vegetables, I don't press down with a knife. Because my fingers are far too sensitive and far too useful to me for my day job for me to risk any damage. Just to save a few seconds. Being former health and safety officer at a mechanical trades company for more than a decade, I've seen my share of silly accidents, and the argument from the safety people is if it can be prevented, and it should have been prevented, and it still happened, it wasn't an accident. It was an on-purpose event. Sometimes people think that's funny. Mixed starch, welcome. Kitty. So since we've trimmed the side of the onion, we have a firm base that we could just chop this. I'm more interested in the flavor that we're going to get from the onion and some moisture. Are these pieces too big? Yeah, probably. I could cut them in half again. Am I going to? No. I'm just going to leave them like this. Nice and rustic, which is Vlahosese for crappy presentation. Onions and carrots, for anyone playing the keto game at home, are not particularly keto friendly. These carrots I'm going to give a really good rinse. I'm going to quickly peel them. The little potato peeler, vegetable peeler. Looks a lot like this. Give me 1 second. Even though I'm going to be peeling the exterior, I do want my vegetables clean before I cut into them, because if I have any dirt on the outside, cutting into it with the knife will push that dirt into the vegetable itself, and I don't want that. I have no room for my kitchen. Sorry, this is off screen, but it's peeling a carrot here. Here's one on screen. Magic. Isn't everyone thrilled? Minds blown everywhere. Somebody give me a splode with mind blown, please. It would really sell this as being mind blowing. Perfect. Thanks, PVD. You're a prince among men. Oh, and I guess and my mod, DJ Nuvo. Thank you. You're not chopped liver. Ooh, I should do chopped liver one day. We have not had liver for a while, and I've had many requests from my keto friends for doing beef liver. Because apparently there's secrets that only I know how to make beef liver taste good. Because everyone that's complained about me not. Anytime I offer to make beef liver, people typically complain, and then I tell them to try it, and they try it, and they're like, this is so good. I've never had beef liver like this before. I'm like, how have you not? The secret is science. Well, the secret is soaking the beef liver in milk. Yeah, some people have fond memories of liver. like liver and onions, and other people hate it. And I think a lot of that has to do with how it was prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't say I think, like, it has to be how it was prepared. These carrots are rolling around. It's hard to get a good grip with the claw, but I can grab onto this whole thing with my hand. I don't have to get... Yeah, Bill Nye. As long as this isn't rolling around, and I can use the claw technique, everything's great. If it's rolling around, what I like to do is just make a slit so I have a flat surface to work with. I'll give you an example. Now that I have this top end cut, in theory I could do something with the carrot, and it's not going to roll around. I mean, this isn't a safe way to, like, I'm not going to chop the carrot in half from the top, but if this was just a few inches high, this would be a lot safer. I'm just going to chop this into coarse chunks about this big. Depending on how sharp your knife is. When you're cutting things, try to have the knife do all the work for you. You shouldn't have to muscle your way through things. Chopping through bones is one thing, you know, trying to break through cartilage, or doing your ninja chop on a coconut to cut it in half. I mean, you need some oomph behind the blade. But when you're just cutting into things that aren't rock hard, things that aren't made out of wood, the tool should be doing all the work. Do I want 2 onions in there? I think one's good enough. We got us some celery stalks. I'm going to give these a quick rinse. I'm going to trim off the bottoms. Coarse choppy chop, and that's going to go into the roasting pan. If I have room for any of this stuff. PBD, speaking of soothing and relaxing, what are your thoughts on me doing an ASMR stream? Just like veggie prep and me not talking, or me talking just very, very softly like this. And I could do some really relaxing vegetable prep. Crunch, crunch, crunch. You can pretend there's a little fluffy bunny just biting into that. No? Okay, again. Coarsely chopped, inch and a half chunks. Not that? Okay. This is what we have so far. I've got a few potatoes left over. I'm just going to throw them in here as well. And then we got all sorts of games lined up. Mademoiselle Nouveau, do you want the potatoes peeled?
You might want to if they're the ones that have the green stuff.
I'm going to quarter them anyways.
Yeah?
Sure. I'm going to quickly give these potatoes a scrub. Yeah, real Farina, I don't get the ASMR thing. Like, some people absolutely love it, some people it freaks them out. I did see a YouTube stream where there was just a super cute bunny crunching on stuff, and oh my god, it was adorable. But I think it was adorable just because it was a super cute bunny, and the ASMR portion didn't really do it for me. It was a real bunny. Yeah, there's a real bunny crunching on real vegetables. Looking, and it was a Chonker's bunny, so it was extra cute. When you're using a vegetable peeler, potato peeler in this case, try to be careful with where your fingers are and where the edge is, because this thing actually is pretty sharp. Well, I mean, if I had to yeah, you can take off a nail with these, no kidding. You know, we all know people that'll put on the bunny ears and splash around in their kiddie pool. Some of us know these streamers better than others. No names. Yeah, the whispering didn't do it for me either. Some people really like even the chewing. I personally find the sound of people chewing on food disgusting. It's different if it's a critter. It's one of my pet peeves is people. I understand if there's a breathing reason, if somebody's got like a plugged nose or they just can't eat without their mouth opening a bit when they're chewing. But when people chew like a cow would chew its cud, I don't know. It bugs me. If that's you, not judging, just don't eat around me. Yeah. You don't have to be super quick to peel your vegetables. This isn't a race. I am not interested in cutting myself. If you come across any little eyeballs, not really balls, both ends burning, that's funny. I kind of get it. Like, at first I thought it was just a joke. I thought it was just a bunch of guys simping for some random thought doing ASMR. And then I fell down that rabbit hole, like literally rabbit hole, and realized there's something to it. And fortunately, there's content that I find more interesting. But if I was having a hard time sleeping, I don't know. I'd be okay with listening to a little bunny crunch on things. Is everyone excited to play games? I am. I'm trying to remember who it was. They sent me a link to an ASMR streamer who was baking a multi-layered cake of some sort, colored, and his ASMR game was spot on. His cooking sucked, which was fine because that was the whole joke, and he was laughing about how terrible it was. But oh, that was you. Yeah, the ASMR game though was spot on, and I really appreciate when people can poke fun at themselves for failing. I didn't think it was a huge failure, but I mean, if that was the shtick, he did it well. Yeah, his potato's a little green. I'm gonna get rid of all this green stuff. it's too green, I'm just going to throw it out. When you get to these little eyelets, that's what the pokey end of your paring knife is for. Just go in, give it a little spin. Book. I genuinely wish that I had more time every day to watch more different streamers. There's so much amazing content out there that I know I'm missing. There just aren't enough hours in the day, and there's fortunately there are enough eyeballs so that people that are presenting a good product can get a few eyeballs watching, which is nice. Almost done. ASMR potato peeling. I'll be quiet. Okay, I won't whisper. I'll just speak a lot more softly. How's that? I'll get right up close. I'll get right up close with the potato. It's almost game time. I'm so excited. Oh, and if anybody ever has... that's awesome. If anybody ever has any requests, even ASMR, let me know. I'll see what I can do. If there's technique or like an ethnicity or regional cuisine, or if there's certain ingredients or a specific recipe, just let me know. If I haven't made it, always willing to try and learn. I have this potato, clean enough. This is kind of rolling around. I want to find it in a place where I can hold on to it and give it a good chop. From this position, I have a nice flat surface that I can work with. And then I'm cutting it much, much more safely. Again, I've got a really good grip on this potato. It's not going anywhere. I'm barely pressing down with this knife. Flat end goes on the cutting board. This isn't going anywhere. Chunks of potato, roughly the same size as the other chunks of veggies. As long as the thickness of the potato is consistent, how to put this? One of these pieces is significantly larger than the other, but the cross-sectional area is the same, so these will both cook at the same rate, give or take. Now this last potato is a little more green than I want. And yes, I could have shaved the potatoes a little closer. I shaved not too long ago. A little bit of skin's not going to hurt anyone. Again, rustic presentation, right? Super basic. Super, super basic. A few minutes of prep. It's going to be good. Now, this I'm going to open and rinse in the sink. I'm going to get some paper towel to just pat it dry. know what I forgot to do was toss these veggies in the oil. And you know what I really like is when I screw things up. Because I'm not going to hide that I screwed this up. I'm going to advertise it. I screwed this up. This guy screwed this up. I can drizzle the oil on top with some salt. I can take all of this, pour it in the bowl, flip it around, maybe add a bit more oil, return it. We're cooking beef today, not chicken, so no fowl. I'll wait for the groans to catch up.
I did not catch that particular
Oh,
part.
no fowl. I'm cooking beef, not chicken. How are you spelling fowl? With a W, not a U. Need to get our thinking caps on because we're playing some word games soon. Okay, so I had like a quarter-ish cup of olive oil on the bottom of this. It's enough to coat everything. I'm going to give this a quick sprinkle of salt. So, was unoiled is now oiled. Can you tell the difference? Not really. I'm going to go cut this open, rinse off the meat. I'm going to pat it dry over here. I'm going to brush it with rub it with this, and then it's going to go in the oven, and then all the games. All the games. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. One thing that I normally do with my roasts, which I'm not doing today, is make a bunch of slits into which I would insert some garlic cloves peeled. Today is the most basic way that you can do a roast beef. I will show you what that looks like, but I'm not going to do it. Okay, what I would do is just take a knife, little paring knife, slit about an inch deep, pop a garlic clove into it. And do that in like, I don't know, a dozen places. And I just gave this a quick rinse under some water.
And you do that because?
The garlic, I do that for flavor.
No, the water.
Oh, I just like to clean it off. I don't want to drain all the it's not blood, it's like, what is it called? Like intercostal sanguinary fluid, which sounds like blood to me. But it's, big step for me is habit. The other one is just to make sure that I'm inspecting the meat. I can see clearly that there's no weird discoloration. I don't see any weird growths. I don't see any bruising, like evidence of bruising. The meat itself looks good. I'm just going to take a teaspoon of salt and just sprinkle it over the veggies. Okay, so from here, notice it's already strung up, which is good. And I'm just rubbing the salt, pepper, garlic powder mixture all over.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it wasn't going to be enough, being 2 1/4 teaspoons-ish of powder. It's enough. Like, you can see this whole thing's loosely coated. If you really wanted, you could put in a bunch of sprigs of rosemary. I could get some big sprigs of fresh rosemary on the side, on top. Personally, I'm a big fan of oregano, but there's a moratorium on oregano right now, so no oregano. 375 into the oven. Again, 20 minutes a pound. After 50 minutes, I'm going to start checking the internal temperature. I want to pull this out at about 140 Fahrenheit. And for that temperature, that's the top end of medium rare, like 140, 145. That's where I want to be. Like, medium rare is 130 to 140. I don't really trust my oven. 140, 145 is going to be good. Middle rack, away we go. Timatron. I hope everybody is as excited as I am. I'm not looking down. For the games that we're about to play. 50, perfect. I'm gonna wash my hands. And before I forget, I need to wash this because I'm going to need this later. I'll do that at some point. One of our dear friends came down with the COOFs a few weeks ago and was hospitalized and has some insane medical bills that I can't really relate to, being up in the medical paradise known as Canada, where you absolutely get what you pay for. And there have been a few raid trains, there have been a few little fundraisers, there have been a few streams to raise some money. What I want to do is, for last month, I did 3? Was it 3 or was it a total of 4? On my painting streams, any bits that were cheered or any subs that were gifted, I still have to tally them up and ship the money over. It wasn't a bunch. I'm going to match the amount, though. For Mademoiselle Mango, there's a GoFundMe. There's a couple of bucks in there right now. She needs a lot more. I don't want to pressure anyone into giving when they can't afford to. You got to take care of yourself and your family first. But if it's the difference between not getting a latte tomorrow at Starbucks and helping somebody out that almost died, I'm just going to let that sit on your conscience, weighted guilt like a ton.
Wow.
And hopefully that sales pitch worked. I'm such a bastard. No, all kidding aside, if you can, if you can, and you're interested and you don't have a preferred charity, etc., 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 it's a good cause. If it's not your jam or you can't afford it or whatever the reason is, I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to complain. I'm very much resisting the urge to crack jokes about you'll still burn in hell, but I'm not going to go there. I'm kidding. But it is a good cause. I got to work on my sales skills. Sometimes I'm a little too subtle, sometimes I'm a little too ton of bricks. I'm just bad at moderation. Okay, this board is nice and sterilized. Got clean, dry surface. So I need that board to cut the meat later. Today, very, very first time ever. Let's see if I can get this to work. Is everyone ready? I hope everyone's ready. Yeah, both ends burning. I was thinking about that. Yeah. I'm very, very much wired to see things in black and white. I get sarcasm, I hope, I get humor, but I'm still wired to see things in terms of black and white. So I literally don't do moderation well, but apparently I'm good for Brian's channel. Let's see if I can get this last little bit of magic to work. Okay, so when I push start, what's supposed to happen is we're going to have a bunch of letters on the screen that spell words, minimum 4 letters, and the words that as they get discovered will get filled in. And then depending on how well we do, if we get enough points, we continue the game. If we don't, we fail and the stream ends. Are you ready to play? Sounds good. Just type the answers in the chat. Yeah. I've got a ton of lag here, so I can't play, and I'm not going to run over to the other computer, but I might type something into the phone. I don't know. Drum roll, please.
I'll try to read it.
3, 2, 1. Opa. Ooh, camera. Nice.
I can't read the screen, so.
Yay, we completed level 1. Lots of time left. Ooh, mace. And race. Oh.
That it?
Oh, I think that's it. Sinking last hits. Oh, I did okay. Woo! Skip 2 levels. Go team, go. Did everyone get enough? Was there a huge delay in the start of the game? Or did we just jump on it way too quickly? By us, I mean myself and incomparable Mademoiselle Nouveau. Okay, good, no lag. I'm going to start the next level. What I think is fantabulous is that I can actually control the game from my phone. Oh, dang. So if there's a delay for you, you might want to reload the page. And if you have other Twitch pages open, close them. I noticed that Twitch, especially the moderator view, good lord, it's a complete system hog. And I know sometimes these games are frustrating to play if they're timed, because like if you're running 15, 20 seconds behind, it's kind of unplayable. And it becomes a lot more frustrating than it is fun. We're going to start round 2. Do I dare? I dare. 3, 2, 1. Opa. Google-any. Oogle. Ooglik. Igloo. Igloo's a word. Someone get igloo. Looking. Kanoogly. Ooglenik. Well, if no one's going to type in igloo, I'm going to get it. Igloo.
Oh my god.
Okay, good enough. I can't believe oink is a word. That is awesome.
Sure it is. Okay, I'm gonna do it the other way because this isn't working for me.
I don't want to steal all the fun. Oh, I think this cuts me off on my phone after 3. Weird. Yeah, I can't enter anymore. That's good. That's good. I was wondering if kilo was a word. And clog. I don't know if that works with a K. Yeah, I'm really curious about kilo.
Oh my god.
Woo! Level completed. Go team, go.
Oh, 1 star.
Well, we only got 11 out of 20 words, but that's still enough points to keep going. Well, it looks like after this round, Mademoiselle Nouveau is going to catch up, but PVD got a big word in there, both ends burning. Hot on someone's heels. I'm obviously cheating. Me and my 3 words. 3, 2, 1. Rhubarb. Meth.
Did somebody say that?
Meth. Meat. Both ways of spelling meat.
Are you actually doing it?
No, I'm not doing it. Meat like M-E-T-E. Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm skipping this one.
Do Goodwin mainly, so it doesn't have to.
Yeah, it needs another E. Yeah, melee needs 3 E's, not 2.
There's only 2 E's here.
I can't believe helm isn't a word, but helmet is, that
What?
nobody got yet.
Helm?
Quick, somebody get helmet. Quick, quick, quick. Helmet. You cheaty face. Oh, there's helm. I think the syncing, like, it shows that DJ Nouveau got helm, then helmet, and then Capmiam got helmet and got credit for it. So I think if you spam the words too quickly, it I know it's kind of poopy, but whatever. She's got lots of points. Nobody got meat. The other meat.
Yeah, I typed that in.
Didn't accept it, eh? Wow. Woo! Cadmium. Catching up. Lots of levels to go. Are we ready? Let's do it. 3, 2, 1.
Oh my god.
Fnarfsener. Fans. Afros. After a few more levels, for anyone that's new to the game, there is saffron. Oh, that's a really good word.
Somebody get that?
Oh, I'm gonna type that one. Saffron. Boom. Screw all y'all. No. No. Damn you. Yeah. So in a few levels, that is pretty funny. Ooh, arson, good one. The letters that are presented, one or more of them don't actually show up in the word, and it's there's another letter that'll show up later to replace it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Come on, we need another word or two. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Afros has to be a word.
Is it? Oh, it's not over yet.
Oh, so close. So close to bad things happening yet. Go team, good guys.
Yay!
And gals. Well, I've been dethroned here. Here we go, here we go, here we go! On to level 6? 3, 2, 1, boom! Doopa-doopa-doo. Yeah, frame's been typed in a few times, but it didn't go. Oh, go team, go.
What? Frame is?
Yeah, it took a while for it to kick in.
That's weird. I'm running out of things.
Marf.
Marv. Ooh, armor.
Oh, wow. Whew. Go team, go. Just crushing this one. Holy crap.
Oh, what's that one?
Rearm. Oh, that's the when you like chop off a limb and then you reattach it. That's when you rearm someone. Okay. Cheers.
I wish I could see what the other words are. Oh, did I get that?
Oh my gosh! Fantastic. Well done. Well done. Here we go. Next one. 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Wait.
Too many O's.
Oh.
Oh, there's a fake letter. Watch out for the fake letter. Oh, and real Therina, it's minimum 4 letters.
What? Okay, seriously?
So I think when we guess the fake letter enough times, it'll show up that it'll get highlighted. Ooh, possum's a good one.
So was that one of them?
That's not a fake letter, so we have POSSUM. The N might be fake. I think the N is the fake one.
M or N?
N. I think the letter N, like November, is the bad one. It's like they heard me.
I said mops.
You did say mops.
I did.
I know.
Oh, it was the N, right?
Yes.
We lost.
Oh, we got crushed. The fake letter ones this is where it gets tough.
Wham.
Yikes is right.
Oh, it smells really good.
Let's try that again. A new game.
Oh.
Clotron. Nulorkt. Cthulor. Twin brother of Cthulhu.
Too bad it's not French. No.
I think we're in trouble here. Okay, hopefully that helps the final score. I'm sure some of the words that I spammed in there are legit. Oh, that was a real nail biter. I was terrified. Colon? What kind of
It's not letting me type.
punctuation is that? 1 second.
I've been doing the whole thing without being in the typing field.
Oh. Well, that's silly. Dumb. Are we ready for round 2? Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Wow.
1 pink cupcake. I think you mean cretin. Crouton should have a U, doesn't it? Whoopsie. It's a type of plant. What? What do you know about plants? Be some sort of horticulturist? Some sort of plantographer?
God damn it.
Doopa doopa doo. 2 more to go. Can we do it? Can we do it? Right through. I keep forgetting that dang spelling.
Well, that kind of threw.
That through, yeah. Oh, tour. Well done. Well done. Does it recognize it?
Which one?
Oh, road's already done. Tour. Cadmium got tour and it didn't register.
Sometimes it's slow.
I'm sorry. I know you had that one. I think if you spam a few in a row, it doesn't catch them. Oh, Real Tharina takes the lead.
Ooh.
Yeah, Cadmium 25, Real Tharina 25, me somewhere in 3rd place.
I screwed up the last one.
DJ Nuvo screwed up. Pink Cupcake with some random plant that she just invented. Ready for round 3. Level 5. Oh yeah, we skipped a bunch. Here we go, here we go. 3, 2, 1. I'm just going to take a quick peek in the oven-o-matic. Oh yeah. Whew. That smells the good. Perfume.
Is that the big word?
Perfume is the big word.
Yeah.
Meat. Ow. My leg bone.
Is that a hint or did you actually type that in?
I typed in femur.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's see if I can add to the hive mind here. 5-letter word.
Did I already do that?
Rump. Yeah. Oh, from's already done.
Oh.
Ah, we're good. We got lots of points. But 2 5-letter words left. Dang.
Ooh, 3 stars.
Ooh, 3 stars. Well done. Well done. We've got 22 minutes left, and then we're going to have half an hour for the Yorkshire puddings. Am I going to cook something else today? I don't know. I think that's it. Oh, I can go over the gravy too. Let's get the next round started though. 3, 2, 1, boom.
Oh, jeez.
Trauma Train Rich, welcome. There's a fake letter. I wonder if it's the Z. Just checking. Let's see if there's a fake H in there. Okay, that's enough for me. This is a game for all y'alls, not this guy.
Oh my god. Bet Casio.
Oh, I see pink cupcake. I type it first, but somebody else steals it on me. Sneaky sneak. I'm wondering if that Z is a fake letter. Need a few more words to finish the level.
I don't know.
It's going to be tough. Wow. That one was terrifying.
Probably a lot of old words.
Ooh, one pink cupcake dominated that round. Cadmium also dominated.
Did I get anything?
DG Nuvo got 8 points.
Whoopty.
3, 2, 1, boom.
Oh my god.
Medlage. Delhi. Fine. Doopa doopa doo. The J isn't there. What? It's when you give somebody a dime, you dimed them. I mean, that's not a word. Grr. Oh, both ends burning. What's funny is there's days where just the random scrambling of the letters, I get a bunch of them, and other times I just stare at the letters
Yeah.
and nothing
Same.
comes out at all. I'm like, I know I have some vocabulary. I've learned a couple of words. I know a few words, and sometimes I get literally none.
Ooh, 3 stars.
3 stars. Good job. Are we ready for the next level? I think we are. And after I go boom, then I see the 3, 2, 1. So there's a good 5-second delay in here. Oh. There's a hidden letter. That's amazing. Let's see if it's an N. Knife. Nope. Is it an A?
F-U-C-K.
Cake. Oh, somebody already guessed A. Maybe it's another E. Although I don't think so. Uh-oh.
Hey, I'm confused.
You're confused because there's a...
Because we're putting in all these words and none of them are coming up.
I know.
We get
Something?
Yeah.
So there's the real letters. It's an N and an F. I know. I'm surprised that we didn't get any. Oh, the F is the fake letter.
Oh, bugger. Oh, wow. That was brutal.
So what I just said about just can't get the letters, this guy. That was pretty brutal. That was pretty brutal.
Did I get anything?
Yeah, DJ Nouveau, me, and 1 pink cupcake. That was really harsh. Celador, welcome. Welcome. I've got 15 minutes left on the roast beef. I've got the Yorkshire puddings ready to go. Do you want to play another round, or do you want me to discuss how you turn roast drippings into gravy?
That would work best when you could actually show it while you're saying.
It's probably best if I can show you while that's happening. Roast beef and Yorkshire pudding. I completely approve of that. I'm going to see if there's any drippings in here that I can sort of scoop out without ruining everything. Oh, that smells fantastic.
Sure does.
Just on the off chance that it's ready sooner than later, I'm just going to stab the meat with the thermometer. Okay, my thermometer is reading 130 for the middle temperature, so it is rare right now. It's at the top of rare. I want to get another 10 degrees, and my clock says another 12 minutes would bring us to 50, which is kind of what I was expecting for a 2.5 pound roast. Again, 20 minutes a pound at 375, like even 350, but I prefer a slightly higher temperature. I just want the outside to be a little more well done. Celador, the meat's going to rest for about 20 minutes, which is going to be just enough time to do the Yorkshire puddings. So right before, 1 second here. I must hydrate. So right before the meat is done, I need to skim out a bunch of the fat, juice from the bottom. If I can't find enough, I'm just going to use some regular oil that I have lying around. I'm going to grease the bejesus out of this pan.
That's an interesting way to do it.
Which?
Greasing the bejesus out of.
Yeah, so I'm gonna grease this up. I'm gonna heat this pan up a lot. As soon as the meat comes out, I'm gonna crank up the stove to 450. As soon as the oil starts smoking, that's when I'm gonna pop this out very quickly, pour the Yorkshire pudding batter into the pan. Goes back in for, it's gonna be something close to 20 minutes. Never ever ever open the door to the oven until they're fully cooked. And while that's happening, the meat's going to be resting, again, about 20 minutes. Like 10 to 15 is good enough. I'm going to leave it covered in foil on the bed of everything, so it should be fine for being warm. And then I can serve everything fresh at the same time. I'll plate it up, take some pictures. It'll look nice and rustic. Crappy presentation. And somewhere while the Yorkshire puddings are cooking, I will get this all ready now. I'm going to take the juice, the drippings, I'm going to run it through a little strainer. What that looks like. This into this little pot. And then the interesting thing that I need to do is get some oobleck ready to thicken it up if needed. Now, I can get the oobleck ready right now, and then we'll play another game. We can compromise. I can play well with others from time to time. École de maïs. I need some cornstarch. A little bit of cornstarch goes a heck of a long way. This is an overkill amount. You know what? I should turn off the game screen for just a minute. Okay, so in this little plastic bowly bowl, I have my cornstarch. And I'm going to very slowly add a little bit of liquid to it. And you're going to see how quickly it cakes up. If I try to mix this, if you don't have quite enough water, just keep working at it, and then you're going to get this weird release where the powdered cornstarch stops being caked, and it just turns into this silky smooth paste. So this silky smooth paste that has no clumps in it now is what I'm going to use to thicken the gravy if I need it. The neat thing about oobleck, spelled this way, oobleck. Bleh. It's called a non-Newtonian fluid. So the weird thing is it'll pour like a regular liquid, but under pressure when it's compressed, it acts more like a solid. So if you have a swimming pool full of the stuff, if you had snowshoes on and you could press down really hard, you could actually run across the surface. You can do like a giant belly flop, and it's like diving into pavement. I recommend against doing it. And then you'll sink into it. If you have a bowl, you can slap your hand on top of it. It'll make a mess. You'll hurt your hand, and then you can just gently push in. It's like those shields from Dune. And I'm sure that's going to make a lot more sense to literally everyone in the chat than the other previous examples.
It's the slow blade.
The slow blade, yeah. So if I need to thicken up the gravy, if I need to thicken up the gravy, just like a half teaspoon of this at a time while I'm whisking up the gravy that I'm going to use on top of the roast beef. Like the potatoes that are cut up, I could just take them aside and mash them. And I could get like my immersion blender in a thin cup with a bunch of heavy whipping cream and make like the world's smoothest mashed potato, which I'm not opposed to making today. I don't know, does anyone want me to do that? No? Okay.
No. Just
I think somebody's all potatoed out.
chunks of potato is good. No,
Chunk-
we just did it the potato
Yeah.
the way it came out of the oven.
Five minutes. Okay. Just enough time to do one more game. Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Can't see it on the main screen. Oh, never mind. I have a really huge delay.
So do I. Reconnecting. If anyone has a request for a different game, let me know. Because I can do all sorts of things from my phone. It's the miracle of science. 3, 2, 1. Sinjin. Engine. And Geis. Singe. Genies. A signee. Somebody who signs things. I'm going to do that one. Signee. The one who did the signing. What do you mean it's not a real word? Ugh. Ensign. Sounds like such a Star Trek word. It doesn't even sound real.
Oh, is it a word?
Ensign, yeah, it's a rank.
Oh, is it one of the ones on there?
No.
Oh yeah, because there aren't two ends. Oh my god. Yeah, jeez.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'm going to check. Face full of next level. Well done. Just waiting for my phone to reconnect. My battery saver mode is really, really aggressive. PVD, thanks for the cheers. Cadmium, One Bean Cupcake, Real Tharina, DJ Nuvo. Continue. Continue. 3, 2, 1, boom. 120, 130, 140-ish. Do I have any liquid in the bottom of this? Yeah, I got some liquid. Okay, I'm going to find a plate on which to put the meat. So it can rest. The veggies need a little more time, which is fine. Okay. Level completed. Good jorbs. I'm going to very briefly switch back to the cameras because I want to show you something. Okay. The meat is cooked, but I need some juice from the tray, and the vegetables, I think they need a little more time. So what I'm going to do is take the meat out and let it rest. I want to show you what it looks like. Perfectly done roast. Like, absolutely perfect. Yeah. So this is going to be loosely tented. This is going to hang out all by itself in a nice warm place. Until such time as I need to visit it. Now, I'm going to see if I can pour the pan drippings into this, if there's any left. Because I don't think there's a whole lot of liquid in there. Nah, you know what? There wasn't enough juice. I probably needed a little more olive oil in here. That's fine. We can fix this pretty easily. Don't mind me. Just going to let that veg cook a little longer. I'm going to raise the temperature, and then I'm going to start getting the Yorkshire puddings ready. In the meantime, round the next. Waiting for my phone to sync up. I'm just going to go hit start on the computer. 1 second. I hope people are having fun with me. Gnaw. It's so quiet over here. Maybe too quiet. Ooh, just made it. Wow. That was terrifyingly close. Here we go. Level 6. There's a fake letter. Huh.
What is that one that's done?
What do you mean?
The one that's the big word. I can't read it.
Forever?
Okay.
So the A is the fake letter. So there's like veer, and 4 is already done, and rove is already done, and rover. Evar. Okay, ooh. Level completed. Oh, crushing it. Rushing it. So I don't have enough fat to get from the beef because it was a fairly lean cut. So I put in a good heaping teaspoon of olive oil into each well. PVD, thanks for tuning in. And just in case anyone missed it, insert guilt trip for funding. I'm going to show you what I'm doing before I switch back to the game. Because I mean, we're here for the food, not just the game, right? So this individual wells, just want to make sure the sides have a little bit of oil brushed onto them. I'm going to put this into the oven, crank the heat up to 450. I want the oil to start smoking. As soon as it starts smoking, which means I need the fans on, otherwise my smoke alarm is going to go off. Make that wonderful rave sound. And yeah, it's going to heat up, start smoking, pop them out, quickly put the batter in. They go into the oven, and I don't touch anything till they're done. Back to words. Book. 3, 2, 1, boom! Derp. Ooh, vendor, good one.
Code isn't a word,
Huh.
So the D is no?
The D does not exist. Yeah. Crone.
I typed that in. I typed it in above you, see?
I believe you.
Chrome is above.
Oh, I'm such a cheaty. Oh, we failed. No. No, damn you. No. Oh, Nuvo crushing it. Crushing it with 107 points. Okay. I think that's it for the words. Yeah, it gets frustrating. I know.
See it right there.
Stupid word game grr.
Space.
Stupid word garbage face. I gotta turn my Fanatron on. So depending on the thickness of the veggies, they're anywhere from like an hour to an hour 20 to roast. So the meat's done, the meat's good. I'm leaving the veggies in on a slightly lower temperature while I'm heating up the oil. In a few minutes, I'm going to crank the oven up to 450. I'm going to pull out the veggies. I'm going to do the Yorkshire puddings. I'm going to leave the veggies covered, and if they're not fully cooked, if they're not tender by the time the Yorkshire puddings are done, it's not the end of the world. I can just pop them in the oven for a bit to finish them off. The piece of celery that I tried was still a little firm. The potato that I stabbed the thermometer into seemed fine. So they should be... Cheers. I'm open to all sorts of feedback and feedbacks. If there's any games you want to play, if there's games that I fire up that you really don't like, let me know, please. But most importantly, if there's any recipes or techniques or just base ingredients that you want me to play around with, happy to. You and me both. My other cooling dealio. Yeah, my bestie is really good at Scrabble. He's played it a zillion times. I'm pretty sure that my overall vocabulary is more gooder than his bigger language book score is, but he's practiced playing the game. He's learned the stupid Scrabble words. He knows the magic shortcuts and the cheats and the hacks. So I would probably get my ass handed to me the next 100 times we play. I don't know that I've ever actually played against him at Scrabble, but I know he's good at it. We might have played once or twice, and I'm sure he crushed me. Pretty sure about it. The oil is almost smoking. I'm going to put 20 minutes on the clock. Actually 17. So this is the batter that came out of the fridge. This is going to be just one row, and we should see a significant difference. Okay, so this is super duper hot, just like you. Okay, so those are done. Now, over here, we need just under a quarter of a cup. This is going to get a little messy, oh darn. Want to be fairly consistent with the measurement. I'm just eyeballing about a tablespoon underneath the quarter of a cup. Don't be too worried about using every last drop. There's a little bit left over. Perfect. Would rather have a consistent amount than not enough. This carefully goes into the oven. Remember, we're at 450. Middle rack. And I am not touching the oven until it's done. I think these are good. Other than quickly pouring and being able to scoop out a consistent amount with the quarter cup, no real skill, no talent, no ability required for this stuff today. Coarsely chopped veggies, tossed in oil, sprinkle of salt, big chunk of meat, rubbed in salt, pepper, or garlic powder, threw that on top. That went into the oven, it came out. Beep. So nothing that I've done today required any real skill. No, nothing. The first three, there's a raging debate for the Yorkshire puddings. Should they be raging? Should you chill the batter, or is it okay to let it rest on the counter? Now, some people say it's best to dish them cold into the hot oil and bake them right away from a chilled state. Other people say it needs to be at room temperature. So you can leave it in your fridge, preferably for 1 to 3 days while the flavor's set, and that's preferred. Like this batter only hung out on the counter for a couple of hours. Overnight is best. This should be fine though. This stuff, the 9 out of the 12 wells, was all at room temperature, and the idea is that's going to puff up a little more than the chilled ones. The chilled ones will probably be a little creamier, a little more pudding-like in the middle, a little more cool, jelly, yummy part in the middle. So that's the raging debate. Do you pour the batter from cold or from room temperature? From everything that I've read, the people that have tested it, it was kind of a myth buster thing. Everything that I've read says that it needs to be room temperature when you put it into the hot oil.
And then my mom said, no, you gotta be cold.
And then Nuvo's mom says, nope, it has to be cold. So we're going to try both. But certainly, no matter what, you really should let this stuff sit in your fridge in an airtight container for at least a day. And if you're going to use it warm, just put it on the counter while you're I don't know that this could be made. Well, I'm going to rethink all of that. I wonder what would happen if I did it with a heavier cream and just wheat, gluten, and eggs.
Well, you can always find out on Friday.
Well, there's only two ways to find out. One is I can Google it, or two, I can just do it. I wonder if I could make a keto. That'd be hilarious. A keto Yorkshire pudding. That'd be a claim to fame. Yeah, real Farina, one thing that we all found was that you don't really have an appreciation for how much you know until you try to teach it to someone. And then learning teaching methodology is also really important. When you have a thin pan with hot oil, it's going to heat up right away in the stove. Ideally, you have big, heavy, thick cast iron wells for the Yorkshire puddings, but having something like super thin aluminum, that's going to heat up right away. I mean, it was only exposed for maybe a minute, like out of the oven. If it was cast iron, it would hold on to that temperature for a while. But the thin metal ones it's the next best thing, and it works just fine. Well, yeah, when I was a corporate trainer, dude, we had to take a bunch of the train the trainer and how to teach folks, which was very different than what I was doing on campus. And we'd been provided the materials for the four major types of learners at the university, but at the call center in the corporate world, our training for teaching people was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And we had a really in-depth analysis of how to encourage people with the different teaching methodologies, and because our job was to get people ready for production, to go make the company money and not to fail answering the phones. So if somebody was more of a visual learner, great. If they were more of an auditory learner, great. Almost everyone kinesthetic learners, because when you actually do something hands-on, most people that's their preferred way of learning. And apparently the latest research would strongly suggest that there is no such thing as a visual learner, which is weird because almost everyone says they're a visual learner.
Yeah, that is really weird.
It's neat stuff.
Because when I watch somebody do something, it's more likely to be embedded in my brain than listening to them do it, tell you about it.
When I was taking more complex math, I didn't have to see what was being drawn on the board or the overhead. As long as I could clearly understand the lecturer. And I was fine with somebody just describing how to do a proof or the methodology for something. Seeing it was a lot more useful for the most part, just to see the mechanics of it. I think that when people are just starting off, they need to see what something looks like, how something works. But if they're proficient in the area, auditory is, for some people, at least as good, maybe better. But physically doing it, I think, is the best way to learn things. Early monster story. Oh, Montessori. Montessori. Okay, we have 10 minutes left on the clock. I'm not opening the oven. Whoa, these things are puffing up like crazy.
Really?
Kaboom! Well,
Well, I guess you could get your phone.
I could get my phone in there, but
Don't want to chance it.
I don't want to screw around with things. And okay, so out of the 12 wells, the ones on this side that were the cold batter, they're flat. The 9 on the right that were from the warm batter, they're very voluminous. They're very buxom.
Buxom.
And that's not to say that one is superior to the other. They're going to give different results. The ones that are more dense, they're going to have more of that pudding-like denseness in them. Spongy, yeah. Eggy, creamy goodness. And that's not necessarily better or worse, it's just different. So it really depends what you're looking for.
Your preference, yeah.
I mean,
I always like the densest part of the popover. That was my favorite part anyway, so.
yeah, I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and it's up to me to decide if they're wrong. I think that's fair. Buxom Yorkshires, yeah.
That leads to all different kinds of visual.
That leads to all sorts of bad visualizations. And speaking of which, we have a few weeks ago when I did French toast on my live tube. Wade, is Wade around? Dang. Shock's moderator, Wade, was posting screenshots live to the Discord, and my French toasts got flagged as pornography. So yeah, my French toasts were too sexy for Discord. Bounchica Wow Wow is right. Now, my concern is that these Yorkshire puddings, the glass on the oven is a little dirty. Oh, they were good. They were hot. They were.
Sorry.
The glass on the stove is a little too doity for me to see the color. So I'm going to have to just trust that 17 minutes these things are done and not burning.
You could probably make out if they were burning.
Yeah, maybe I can tell if they're burning. Yeah, and speaking of soundtracks, I really need to get off my butt and record something for theme music. Because some people probably aren't on anymore. Mixed starch. Too sexy for my pudding. That's the damn straight. Damn straight. When I take the veggies out of the pan, depending on how much liquid is left over, I will see about making gravy, or we will wrap it up a little early today. And speaking of albums that are awesome from start to finish, on the Discord is a request thread for the punk and ska night that's happening on March 29th. I don't know if I'm doing a music stream before then. 5 minutes left. I did a pop-up last week, just like a part 2 of the hip-hop and rap. Some people really wanted the part 2 because there was a lot of good content that was just... The show went on a lot longer than originally planned. So... And I still didn't get to it all. And there's a lot of artists that I just didn't feel super comfortable playing. I'm not even sure why, because nobody, and you know, credit to everyone that was watching. Not a single person complained about the music, or the language, or the content, or the lyrics, or the anything else. So even though I'm usually the 12-year-old in the room. Everyone was mature enough to deal with the music and enjoyed it the way it was originally meant to be consumed and appreciated. So cheers to all y'all. But yeah, in 3 weeks we've got the punk and ska night. And I still need to do a glam rock hair metal 80s night. And I could do that every Tuesday for a month. 4-hour streams and barely scratch the surface of all the good. How many actual 12-year-olds were listening? I'm going to go with none. Yeah, like Whitesnake, Rat, Poison, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Van Halen. Basically, if the dudes had big hair and wore spandex or leather or satin or some sort of tight pants, lots of leg kicks, lots of woo-yas, close-ups, makeup, they're on the list.
Teased out.
Very, very teased out hair. Very big, very teased out hair. Yeah. And that's the genre, the look. So that's something that I'll want to do at some point. You know, I think David Lee Roth was the better showman. I think as an entertainer, David Lee Roth was the better frontman for Van Halen. And his direction for the band, I think, was superior to the Sammy Hagar days. Sammy Hagar's awesome. But if I had to pick one, yeah, I'd go with David Lee Roth. I would. Okay, here we go. These bad boys are officially done. These need to be popped into someone's mouth right away. But you can see the one on your left is the most deflated. These are the ones that were served from the fridge. The other ones are poofed up. But I think these look good. I don't know. I think they look good.
You look good.
You look good. You're a thing.
Very buxom in profile.
You guys are all awesome. Okay, I'm going to very quickly plate something here up. Yeah, you're right, the top-down shot doesn't do them justice. What I need to do is get my grubby little mitts on a counter-level camera. And the thing that I do want to buy in the very, very, very near future is this juice is going to go into the gravy. So after the dark brown exterior, that's very, very spiced. That freshly cracked pepper, whew, that's some powerful stuff. One, two, three, 4 strings. Okay. Nice medium rare roast. Yeah, that's perfectly cooked medium rare. The cut of meat itself is not the best. Deal with it. I love you. Okay, and I'm going to grab just a quick little assortment of veggies. And remember, rustic. That's this guy for crappy presentation.
It's not crappy, it's realistic. It's get it on the plate and feed me.
Get it on the plate and feed her.
Presentation.
So, nice and juicy, well cooked. You can see the outside's done. Perfectly bloody pink, perfectly medium rare. Perfect all the way through.
I'm so excited.
I'll take a quick picture. Or not. Dig in.
Yeah, take a picture. I can handle it.
Just gonna snap a quick picture of this.
That was quiet. Where does it make a snappy picture sound?
Doopa-doopa-doo. Doopa-doopa-doo. This is all easy to do. Do it yourself. The real question is, do the veggies need a little more cooking?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
The carrots are
It's a little crunchy, eh?
just a little. The potatoes are good.
I'm just going to leave the veggies in the oven for a while. But I do have some juice that I can use to make a bit of a gravy, so I'm going to do... I don't know if that's enough. Yeah, well, I guess that's living the dream, right? Having someone do it all for you.
I'm living the dream.
Nuvo's living the dream. No, I'm not gonna turn that into gravy. What I'm gonna do though is chop off a piece for myself.
Yummy.
Yep, medium rare. It's really good. Mm. The cut of meat itself wasn't super spectacular, but the quality was there. Like, this is a good chunk of meat. And yeah, good stuff.
Puddings taste good.
You like the puddings?
Yep.
Do you prefer the flat one or the biggie ones?
I only tried this one. It's a little different because it's olive oil, but
Yeah, normally they're better with animal fat. But you can
My mom just used vegetable oil.
you can use vegetable oil. You can use lard. You can use animal fat.
Nose hairs.
I trim my nose hairs pretty regularly.
Yeah, he needs to.
I need to. Pudding. So the inside of this pudding is well, it's very hot, but it's I can feel the eggy goodness in there. Like this is it's good consistency. It feels like a good consistency.
Oh, they're both good. Depends on what you like, right?
So the verdict is, if you want a more dense, more pudding-like Yorkshire pudding, you can take the batter from cold. If you want them to poof up more, with more of the cup, more of the fold-over dealio, like this, pop over, use the room temperature batter.
God, let go.
Yeah, visual ASMR. I think that's where we're gonna wrap it up for today, though. As usual, as always, we have the blog. Nothing that I did today took any real skill. Simple ingredients, no real technique, no gadgets. I used a roasting pan and a muffin tray. Knife. Seriously, there's nothing to doing this. There really is nothing. If you're a little concerned if you haven't done something like this before and you're a little concerned, just hit me up on the Discord in advance, and we can set up like a quick Zoom call or something. You can show me what you're doing. I can walk you through. I'm happy to do it. I'm genuinely happy to do that. Walk anyone through doing this stuff. And especially if you do make anything from the stream, please post it. Please do. It's really, really gratifying for me to see other people make the stuff that I demonstrate on Twitch. Like, it does mean a lot to me. Especially if you put in the real effort to make it look way sexier than mine, then hats off to you. Twitch. Here's all the links. There's the Twitch, the Daily Bear, that's the blog where I have all the recipes. Facebook, I'm still using it as long as it's around. I'm going to keep using it. There's a lot of reach there. The Discord is where I spend the majority of my time. If I see a message that's eye-catching, if there's something that sounds urgent, I've usually got my phone beside me. I usually see my alerts. I work from home. So if you know something's coming up where you might need some help, give me some notice, and I'm happy to chip in. But the Discord's fun, and DJ Nuvo's Discord is also equally fun, and she's got all sorts of stuff with critters on hers. So if you want to see the marvelous little furry friends, please check out her Discord. I don't have the link handy, but go to her page, follow her. And without further ado, I'm going to find a food or art person to go raid, and Brian is going to be streaming in 90 minutes for Britpop. It's Britpop tonight. I know who we're raiding.
This is where a steak knife would really come in handy.
Oh, the damage is on.
Yep.
we'll go visit the damage. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you.
Hope you had some fun. Feel free to make this sometime. If you're ever in the Winnipeg area, and I'm dead serious about this, let me know. I'll make extras. I usually do. You're welcome to come down, hang out with us. Try your hand in the kitchen, or not if you're shy. Whatever. Just come on down. It'll be fun. Here's the shameless plugs. I've got the tip thing. I've got the what's this? Amazon. What's it called? Wish list. What did I call it? Give me stuff. I know there's stuff in there if you want to send me.
Wish list.
Wish list, whatever. Fire extinguisher is coming up. That's all I care about. Thank you again for the fire extinguisher. It's very
Opa!
very generous. Opa, we're off to see the damage. You guys be good.